Hello, my name is Rajat Talesra and welcome to my YouTube channel. So last month I had given a challenge called color palette generator, and in that I had some guidelines and everything. So I got another submission for that from Zaka. Uh, his full name is Zaka Ali. So thanks a lot for submitting this. And this is my first review on this particular repository, which means that whatever reactions you will be getting will be purely honest. So let's see. I'll try to review it in from two perspectives. One would be the user perspective, and second would be the senior developer perspective. Let's see how it goes. It's hard to keep them separate. So yeah, this is a tech challenge. By the way, whenever I go to any repository, I directly go to the readme.md file, which most of the developers do actually. This is the tech challenge by Reza. Okay, that's great. Thank you for mentioning this. This is a simple color palette generator. Tech used is HTML, CSS, Ruby on Rails, great, JavaScript, Tailwind, CSS. Okay, got it. Sites or CDN link that I've used. Font awesome, CDN link. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, this is something that I could have expected, but they have mentioned these many details. I love this. They are giving proper credits to each and everything. That's great. Font awesome CDN link undraw.com about this. Our site is useful for vector images for indicating landing pages. Great. Logo I have designed logo by using this. Okay, that shows efforts. Someone is designing logo for a small project also. That shows that they are putting a lot of efforts in that. This readme would normally document whatever steps are necessary to get the application running. Okay, things you may want to cover Ruby version this. Okay, I think now there is something missing. Uh, One thing that I would have expected is what are the requirements? Obviously, they know that I have been developing Ruby on Rails applications and all those things. So even if they wouldn't mention the requirements part, I would have been fine with that. But mentioning how to run the application is really important. Not just for me, but anyone who sees this video should be able to should be able to download this repository and play around with it. For that, I think you should add the steps on how to run this and what are the requirements like Node, Ruby, Rails, those kind of things. That's it. Otherwise, the README is really good. So instead of cloning and doing that entire step, okay, maybe let's directly clone it actually. So I'll start the terminal, cd desktop, and cd YouTube, mkdir reviews, git clone. Let's just do this. So I'm just cloning this repository. What's the name? Color palette. Clear, git status. Okay, clear. Now, from the languages, I know that it is Ruby, Rails, and everything, and also they've mentioned these things. So there are two types of commands that we can run. Either we can run a Rails server, which is the most common command, or because they have used Tailwind, I'm assuming we should do bin/dev. But to confirm that, I'll go to bin folder, and in that, I'll go to dev file. Okay, and we can see that foreman is getting used, so mostly bin/dev should work. Okay, right now I'm not focused on the code part, so let's start. Okay, this version is not installed, no worries. What I'll do is I'll go to some other code that I have. Instead of installing that entire thing, I'll just go to some other code. New window, open. What was the latest code that I was working on? I think it was YouTube code. Inside code challenges was the one that I was working with. Yes, so let's open that. And in that, I'll go to my backend, which is the Ruby on Rails project. And in that, I'll copy this. Okay. And along with that, I'll go to the project that I've recently downloaded from Zaka Ali, which is this reviews color palette. Ruby version, Ruby version this, and I think this one also, right? Great. So now maybe I can run it clear bin slash dev, and now it is working, but it is giving me some errors. Okay, let's go to that. What are the errors that I'm getting? Arrays not found. Okay, could not find gems installing bundle install. I hope by now you would have understood why do we need setup steps or installation steps or what are the requirements, those kind of things. It saves time basically for anyone who is trying to see this project. Now it is working. Yes. Which one it is? This, right? So I'll keep this code. I'll close my code, and now I'll open this. Okay. First impression looks good. Okay, but there are a couple of issues from UX perspective. One is this font is quite different from this font. Uh, in most of the websites, logo does have a different font, but it's slightly different only. This gives a completely different vibe, like professional, aesthetically correct, and all those kind of things. And this gives a completely different vibe, like something funky or handwritten, uh, that kind of thing, right? I'm not a UX expert, but that's what I'm getting as a feeling, and that's why I'm mentioning this. Second is it it looks like an elevation here, but it is not. So I'm not fully sure how does it go. So that this slight border is a bit off for my case. The button, okay. So the one concept that they have used, which is really nice, is that on the landing page they have used only one CTA. CTA is basically click to action. So whenever you visit a website, you try to provide users with one or two buttons only, so that they know they have limited choices and they can take some action. In this particular website, if I have created this website, what action I would have expected from user? I would have expected that they will click on generate to generate colors, right? So they have mentioned that CTA only once, which is clear, it's good. But the color, background color of this button is in similar palette of the background color of this entire image or the whatever background they have used. So it doesn't, it should have been a contrast, a completely contrast thing. That's what my thought process is. Uh, so that as soon as I see this, my focus went here and here. Why? Because majority of color is blue. So by default, my focus went to something which is not blue, which is white and this, right? But it would have, I think it would have been white, it would have looked better. I think so. Again, saying I'm not an UX expert, so if someone wants to correct me, that's completely fine. Otherwise, they have mentioned it correctly. In terms of code perspective, I would say that they have done some really nice thing. They have done the left and the right. Right one is generally an image, left one is generally a header with subtext with a CTA. So they are following pretty good industry standards here. So I'm happy with that thing. Now, if we do this, it's fine up to an extent. They've used the guidelines and everything. But it does somehow it looks odd to me. But from coding perspective, they have done nothing wrong here. So that I would like to say, like from coding perspective, they have done nothing wrong here. But from theming perspective, it could have been improved a bit. Okay, I'm trying to scroll. There is nothing. So this footer looks a bit odd because it looks like there's some section below it, but it is not scrollable. Yes, now again it is not scrollable. Again, it is not scrollable. So this background is a bit off thing. Like I would have expected this entire theme to go till the end of the street. Okay, that's what my expectations are. Someone else can have a different expectation. So let's generate. Okay, it is working. Okay, so there's one suggestion. When I bring cursor here, there should be some sort of hover effect. Only the icon of the cursor icon is changing, but if there would have been some hover effect, that would have been a bit better. For example, uh, if I go here, this is a hover effect. Okay, something like that. and they have used the icon and all those things. So if they are using this icon, they should have updated this favicon icon also. If I'm just suggesting this as a solution, favicon generator. Just search this, try out some of these websites, and in that you can upload a PNG or a JPG file, which you can do from here, this colors one, and it will generate the favicon icon for you, which you can directly use it for these titles. And let's try this. Okay, from color perspective, it's looking bad, but actually, it's looking nice. Great. Now, there are some reviews from my side, and I think I can try to justify it in this way. Not sure if this will work or not, but let's see. Wait. Instructions. Okay. Instructions class. Okay. I'll have to see this in code. Okay. I'll see, check this in code and then show it to you. But from functionality wise, it is working. On space press, the colors are changing. They have mentioned it clearly, so that's also great. If we talk about UI, okay. So if we are trying to, right now they are showing it in 5 column format, but if we are trying to reduce the screen size, it should have been converted to 5 row format so that the overlapping and all those things would not have happened. I can show it to you on the reference website. You can see this, right? It got changed to rows, but in this it is still vertical. So keeping it vertical is not an issue, but it does create problems with these icons and these tags and everything. So that's why I'm suggesting it. Otherwise, they have done it in a this hover effect is really nice. It's transition and everything, so it's good. Let's copy this. Copied, change the title again, change it back to the color code. Really good work. I'm talking about the overall experience of this from color. So there are two parts, UI and UX. UI is the typography, the color combinations, all those kind of things, and UX is how it feels, how easy it is for the user to use this website. So they've clearly mentioned this, which makes it easy to understand what they have to do. This hover effect makes sure that okay, this is a clickable thing. When we click on it, okay, they clearly mention what has happened. So it's really nice. I love this. Really great. Uh, I cannot change these colors here, but I can change them in here, I think. I'm just trying out something actually. This is one. Let's change this. Copy. I just want to show you something actually. How any color can affect your entire website basically. Finally, this color. Okay, now anyone who is viewing this, okay, just tell me which one you like better. This one, colors, or this one. Both of them have same 5 colors. There is nothing different. Okay. But tell me honestly, which one do you like? Okay. Maybe in comments you can mention it. I'm trying this for the first time. Maybe in comments you can mention it actually. And if you are mentioning it in comments, do mention why do you think there is a difference. Okay. So I'll tell you my perspective. Here, these colors would generally be a bit of darker shade. They are completely random. We don't know what they will be, right? So keeping the navbar white is the safest option that we can take. Either white or something which is really close to white is the safest option because we tend to focus on bright colors first. So it becomes easier to know the true color of this. Okay, like we can say this is a true grape color. But in this case, because there is a dark color at the top, it does change our perspective a bit, and because of that, this color looks a bit different as compared to this one. All of these colors are exactly same, but the slight change in this entire thing has made a lot of difference. Okay, so that's one major suggestion from my side in terms of UI. Another is this one. Uh, I think this is the safest option again. Okay, this is the safest option because black and white generally works with almost all the colors. In its the if you want to toggle between black and white, the best option for doing this is whatever color code you get, you can try to convert that into a grayscale, and if it is a black shade of color, then you can use the white color code. And if it is a white shade of color, you can use the black color code. You can try that out. Whatever I've said, try to do that in ChatGPT and just write JavaScript and you will probably get a solution. Okay. Doing it in a specific fixed color, which is not black or white, does have effect, especially on this type of color. It is contrasting, so it looks fine. But on this color, it doesn't look best. And maybe I think if the background is black, then it will create some issues. Okay. So those are my honest suggestions. It looks great actually. So now let's have a look at the code. Okay, so when I'm looking at the code, there is one more thing that you can learn, which is whenever you visit any code base, how you should try to read that. Okay, the first thing that I try to do is I go to the all the libraries. So in Ruby case, it would be Gem files. So they are using SQLite 3, which I won't support. They should have used, by the way, no, it's fine. It's fine because we don't need the database here. Okay. They haven't done the production work in this entire project also. We don't need the color codes. Sorry, we don't need the database. So it's fine. But for production related applications, we need PostgreSQL, SQLite 3. A lot of servers won't even support it. And some of them who does, SQLite is just damn slow. Okay, so using Postgres is as the default database should be your option. Puma, import Rails, Turbo Rails, Stimulus.js, JBuilder, Bootstrap, Teaser, Debug, Web Console, Capybaras. Okay, so out of the default setup, only tailwindcss is something that they have used, which again for our projects is it's the default setup. So I know all of these things, so I don't have to worry about anything unexpected, right? So that's one thing. Second, let's go to the storage. There is no database, so I know I just have to focus on views and controllers. Great. Now I will go to the routes file because I know from which home page I have to start, right? So you can follow these steps. I know a lot of people won't be viewing this video because it's a review thing and people don't tend to focus on those kind of things, but I personally think that it can be really helpful. So they are starting with root. They have created this resource home, and in that they have created generate on collection. Great. So let's go to home index. So we know we can go to app, views, home, index. That's one. Let me check the application. Okay, so they have used the navbar at the top, which is also fine. Okay, so I think there is some unwanted code. This is unwanted. We don't need this. So they can get rid of it. I think same applies for this also. Not fully sure, but there are some unwanted code in this. So they could have easily gotten rid of it. Okay. Yes, definitely. Second, in application, there is nothing special. Great. Let's have a look at tailwind.config file. Where is it? It goes into config, right? So again, in that, they haven't used any special property, so that's also fine. Now in here, they are using this. Basically, if we go to home, they are using this entire form, which is this. Create the perfect color palette. That's great. Then link, generate palette, home index. Okay, great. They've used the link to tag, which is great. Image tag, which is also great. So overall, they've used pretty good coding standard, but the indentation could have been corrected, could have been done better. So that's fixed. Now let's have a look at generate. So press the spacebar to generate color palettes. Great. They have mentioned these 5 color palettes. So here they could have used some sort of looping like 5 dot times or something like that. Using a loop would have been better instead of replicating these 5 times. Then generate color. This is wrong. Yes, up to an extent, this is wrong because you're creating your front end here. Then you are using JavaScript directly in HTML ARB5 to generate colors. Then Rails as an entire tech stack is not correct usage here. You could have directly done this using HTML, CSS, JavaScript basic, or or maybe if you wanted to use a bit better, then it would have been React. So my perspective here is that I think you know Ruby on Rails, and that's why you use Ruby on Rails. So if you are trying to use Ruby on Rails in this type of project, I would have suggested you should try using Stimulus.js. If you are doing this generate thing from JavaScript, then try out Stimulus.js. If you want to generate this color code from your Ruby code, then try out controllers. Okay. In either way, this logical part, this business logic, should go into your Stimulus.js file or your controller file. Basically, something where you can write logic. Uh, it's fine that you have written it, it works, but it is not the industry standard. So that's one thing that you should fix. This needs to be fixed also. It should be like simple 5 times loops or something which is much more easier. Maybe if you are using Ruby to generate these colors, in Ruby, if you are generating colors, sorry, let's say @colors as an instance variable, which is an array, then you could have you could have used iterated over that instance array, instead instance object, and using that you could have shown all the colors. So this code can be actually improvised. Okay, maybe try using ChatGPT to improve this. Uh, that's the safest option. But in that you will have to write clear commands. They've used this to generate hex value, which is also fine. I don't mind this. Uh, they've used span and all those kind of things. Yeah, so overall code can be improved a lot. Uh, I would highly recommend trying it with Stimulus.js or controller, whichever one you prefer. Okay. Then there is second issue that I have, which is related to UX. In terms of code, I already mentioned there is no need to go in depth because I know it's pretty standard code. Whatever you try, it will almost remain the same. So there is no need to do over optimization in that. But using Rails code or using Stimulus code is the correct way to do this. Other than that, we are using this home routes also, right? Home index file, and then there are generate routes also. For example, this is the home route, and in that we have home/generate. I think this should not have been done. It should have been a single page website. That's it. The reason is pretty simple. Assuming 100% of your users are someone who use your website regularly, they know what to do with your website. Now, in that case, all those 100 users are coming from the perspective that they want to generate colors. There's no other option. They don't have any other options in this, right? Now, if all of them are coming from that same perspective, then all of them will have to click here at least once, which I personally don't like. If the task for all 100 of the users is same in each and every case, then maybe we should have shown this color palette directly on home, and from here also they can easily understand. Okay, press the space bar to generate color code. Okay, let's space. That's it. So maybe you can try to view my React based video. I mentioned why I've used React and all those kind of things, but the concept is clear that it should have been a single page website, not two-page website. That's what I think should have happened. Then okay, there's one more thought process behind this, which is you might have tried to copy it from Coolers, right? Let's see, start generator. Yes, I think you have tried to copy it from Coolers, but Coolers is a bigger project. It's a pro version tool. You can buy things from it. You can have your own profile in it. There are a lot of things that they can showcase here, and that's why they have a landing page here. In our case, we have just one single task: generate random colors. That's it. And we want to do this in the easiest way possible. What would be the easiest way possible? show those 5 colors on the home page itself. Okay. I think I have gone through a lot, but let me summarize this very quickly. From overall functionality perspective, really good. From trying to experiment with things, again, really good because they've tried to use transitions, animations, those kind of things here, everywhere. So they've tried to give an effort. So that's again second thing, which is really good. Efforts are important in this. Third, UI UX knowledge you might have to improve. So try to observe each and everything. For example, I often give this really simple example to a lot of my friends about UX and everything. So UX is it is not just limited to screens, it is everywhere. Okay. The most easy example that I can give you is if you are trying to open a glass door that you see in restaurants or something there, they have a handlebar and then they have written pull or push. So in all those cases, if they have handle on both the side of the glass and one side it is push, another side it is pull, it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, because if it is push, then also you are giving handle, user might pull it. They don't know. They go with the instincts, they don't think about it. So if it is a push, they should have a metallic plate, just push, because push always require pressure. And if it is a pull, handle, pull. So if a lot of companies follow this standard, automatically users will not make mistake. It will become pull for this, push for this. That's it. So that's one of the examples. There can be more. So try to optimize on the UX part of it. Code wise, definitely things can be improved. We don't need all those things. Only one single index page would have been sufficient. JavaScript code directly here, we don't need. It could have been a stimulus controller code or Rails controller code, basically Ruby controller code. That's second. Third, I think we have used mixture of CSS classes. Yes. So there is a custom CSS and then there is Tailwind CSS that we are using. I would suggest not to do this. In Tailwind CSS also you can find transition, you can find cursor, all those things. You just have to search very simple thing, which is what is it? Tailwind CSS, right? So if you just search transition, you will find transition. Okay, you can follow all these things here. Transition, ease in, out, delay 150. Obviously, it won't be the 100% same that you want to do, but in that case, you should have not written these classes. You should have just written something called animation, use that particular class. That's one thing. Scale and all those things, you will find in Tailwind CSS. If there's, okay, this color code also, you could have defined that in your config file, which is Tailwind config file. Here, you could have created a colors array object, and inside that, you could have created this color and used that as a Tailwind color. So all these minor suggestions I would recommend you because you have put in effort on this particular project. I would say that you should try to optimize this again, and at that time I can just focus on the code and check this again. Do let me know your thoughts. If someone doesn't agree with my viewpoint at some point, feel free to mention it. I'm open to your suggestions. And if someone wants to still continue and create this same website and submit solution, I'm happy to review that also. In any case, all the best. Thanks a lot, Zaka Ali, for doing this. And I hope this particular review has been helpful for you. Just viewing this won't help. Try to apply this suggestion and it would help you much more better. That's it. I'll come up with more challenges soon, and I'm out of breath now. But I'll come up with more challenges soon. Subscribe, like, comment. That's it. Thank you. Bye bye.